Yo, yo, yo. So, you can watch the beginning of this video, this live stream if you're coming in. What up, chat? If you're coming in and you're watching the recording of this, you can watch the beginning of this. Maybe just skip up a little bit, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Basically, I was planning on making like 5 or 6 videos today. Not gonna lie. But I got caught up, dude. I got caught up in the weeds, man. And as you guys can see, I have the Wyckoff Distribution schematic up on my screen here, in the top left for you guys. And yeah, so the reason that I got caught up in this is because my conviction up until this point has been that we are going into to do something similar to this move that you see on the chart, right? That's what I've been thinking. And based on that, if that is the case, then that means that where we are is here. But my concern is that I thought that we were already turning around. I thought we were already doing this. We were going to do this and then this. But now that I'm really looking at it and I'm comparing it to this Wyckoff pattern, and this isn't me being bearish, I'm just saying, like, I just want to, like, I want to make sure that I'm providing everything I can to you guys, right? Everything that I know, I want to try and put it out there. And to me, this looks a lot like the schematic in the top left. And I'm not going to break down the definitions of all these things. I just want to have you guys sit here and look at it for a second. And while you look at it, I'll read chat. So feel free to take a look. If you need to pause the video, if you're rewatching or something, go ahead and do that. Thank you guys all for coming in to chat. Oh shit. The new mic, it might not make it easy for me to read chat at the same time. What up, E-Bomb? What up, Dave? What up, Brian? You doing good, bro? What up, Kevin? What up? I believe that's Lawrence, probably. Yeah, so what up, Eddie? Yeah, so and I got a few cycle people. What up, Eric? I got a few cycle people that I talked to on Twitter. You guys know Astro, most likely. Hey, what up, Walt? What up, Joshua? What up? Ripping this week, says Christopher. What up? Yeah, so up until this point, I honestly thought that we were I was pretty like convicted that we were gonna see upside here. But then I started to compare what I was just showing you guys to this section on the chart. Ignore the right one for now, and we'll go into that after. And I'm gonna have to change. I might have had to change the time frame first. Yep. I don't know why it always does that. Like, it brings me back. Like, why can't it just change the time frame of what I'm looking at? But there's probably a way of a setting to do that with. But so again, I'll bring this chart here, right? This is the 5-minute chart versus what we were just looking at is the 4-hour, I believe. This is the 5-minute chart. And you can see that the pattern is, I mean, this is undeniably similar. And if you guys are familiar with Wyckoff, if you're not, I talked about it in previous videos, but I'll go ahead and run over, like, basically just what the purpose of it is. Richard Wyckoff developed these schematics basically as a way to understand the way that institutions manipulate the price of assets in order to accumulate as much as they can and then distribute as much as they can at the top. So basically to maximize profit in their trading. And so as you can see the schematic in the top left, up in this region of the screen, It's very similar to this, and also very similar to the schematic that I showed you before. The only problem, and the reason that I started to get a little uneasy, is because this is on a 5-minute, and that was on a 4-hour chart, right? So what that means possibly is that basically it could be delaying the timeline for upside that I was seeing, and we could see further downside before we start to curl up and then see that repetition in the pattern, if cycle theory is in fact something that we can trust. And I will say that more and more, I mean, it's becoming harder and harder to overlook cycle theory at this point, right? Like, I mean, the thing is running through very similar patterns, especially here lately, to what it did before the June run. I talked to one of my cycle guys. Let me shout out his Twitter here. One of the people that I talked to, and I know that he definitely wants to keep his y'all go follow this guy. He wants to keep his stuff private relatively, but oh, let me move this down. Y'all go follow this guy. It's Mike Wazowski, but with the number 1 instead of I's in it, with an underscore in between. Make sure you go give him a follow. Basically, this guy has been doing these cycle theories, essentially, and he knows a lot about the stuff. And what he was telling me is that he believes, well, what he's been using as his example for his theory has been this, and this is the hour chart that we're looking at. Let me switch it over to the 5-minute, and of course have to scroll all the way back and do it all over again. I'm gonna catch up to chat in a minute. If you're watching the replay of this, I am actually live streaming. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you drop a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with my posting. I focus mainly on technical analysis, and right now specifically on AMC. So this, and he said, hey, go do that, what you did to the previous one, do that here. And I will say that it does generally fit the same schematic, right? You can see the higher levels, the retesting happening, everything like that. So I just wanted to get this out there so that everybody was aware of it. I do think that we probably open with some downside next week, tomorrow. That is my conviction based on this information. And I don't want that to freak anybody out. Again, this channel is about technical analysis. It's about understanding the price action before it happens. So that whenever it does happen to the upside or the downside, you're mentally prepared and you can remain convicted based on your fundamental analysis that you did before you entered the trade. So with that being said, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably going to be edited down to this point, and I'm going to talk to chat for a little while. But thank you guys so much for stopping by the stream. Stopping by the video. Make sure you drop a comment, like, subscribe, and hit notifications. Watch time is the best way to make sure that my videos end up on the top of your recommendation feed on YouTube. So if you want to, you can watch some more of my videos. I have some that are preparing us for this week as well. So go back and watch those. And yeah, with that being said, have a good day. All right, chat, let's talk. Let's talk, chat. Let me move my mic here. Do I sound good, or do you guys think that I sound good, or what? I'm not leaving eBomb. That was just for the YouTube video, like the edited version. Chris, see you on the battlefield tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude. If Wyckoff was alive now, you'd say hold. Well, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you guys. Cool. Yeah, I did some reworking. I put some filters and stuff on to edit my vocals. But yeah, so obviously, I'm sure most of you guys have a bullish bias on the stock, right? As do I. And I just think this is just such an interesting thing to try and figure out. Like I said, it doesn't really matter for me personally, from an investment standpoint, because I'm staying in the play regardless. But what it does, it makes me uneasy because I know a lot of you guys, regardless of what's said in my regardless of what's said in my comments or on Twitter. By the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you drop a like on the stream. We got 60 viewers in here, so make sure you drop a like. Anyway. So while typically what you see with these Wyckoff distribution schematics is that they tend to go back down and retest, just like you can see on the chart here. They tend to go down and retest the level that they came from, essentially. And so you could make a case that would be this 31-ish dollar level. I'm sure that there would be someone who would make a case that it's down here, which would be the 0.618. Now, I will say, which would be like that 30-ish dollar level, right? A little bit lower. I will say, though, that if we're taking Wyckoff off of the table and we're comparing cycles, right? Or just thinking of it as Wyckoff, but above certain Fibonacci levels. And I would have to go back and analyze all this from a Wyckoffian standpoint to get a better understanding. And so I don't want to be too hyperbolic, and I don't want to freak anybody out or anything. What I will say is that from this perspective, you can see that the turnaround happened initially at the 0.618, right? Which is where we had this turnaround as well at the 0.618. And then this secondary one that happened above the 0.5 Fibonacci level, which is the $11.18 level. And if you're comparing it here, right, this one is currently happening above the 0.5 Fibonacci. So, man, I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm definitely torn on it. I don't know exactly. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know exactly what to think, but I will say that if you are combining the thesis, then you could make a compelling case that we're finding support on the 0.5. Perhaps we've already run through the cycle that I thought we were in, which is the late April, early May, and now we're in this. And also, I do want you to make note that these price swings are much more aggressive, much more volatile. So it does open up the case for more upside. I will say that. I will say that I felt uneasy talking about the $200 level before I did this, but now this makes me a little bit more comfortable in saying that even if this move is delayed to the upside, if we do get that upside move, which obviously there's no guarantee, right? But if that does happen, it is much more convincing at scale when you compare these Wyckofian cycles to it does seem more reasonable to see that $200-ish level. So, oh, delicious fettuccine, Brian. Well, you thought wrong. That's not very nice. Yeah, it is a new Mikey bomb. What up, Matt? Good to see a live stream. Appreciate you. What up, Kyle? Appreciate you guys stopping by. Look at longer time frames. What do you mean, Alex? This is a 2-hour, right? Are you saying like try and do a Wyckoff cycle based on like a daily or a week? Is that what you mean? While I wait for you to respond, I'll keep going. Jaffer, I don't disclose my positions, nor do I disclose when I enter or exit trades. I may say like, oh, historically I did. Like historically I entered, like when I began my trade, I entered in April, but it might be just like a Southern thing or something. We just don't talk about those sorts of things. Hope you understand. But if you look at the 4 hour before the run up in June, there wasn't there a double bottom, which we would see a little downside tomorrow to get that second bottom last before run. Yeah. And I mean, that would align with the Wyckoff distribution, right? You can see this isn't like just like a rough drawing. These things are pretty accurate, and you can see that it ends where it began, right? And basically, it's the process is just designed to frustrate and exhaust retail traders, and then so that they can either take max profit or they can get a maximum position. So what they'll do is a distribution, and then they'll do an accumulation, and then they'll do a shot up. So just to show you, and this happens on smaller time frames as well. It just depends on, and this is a different kind of theology or basis for a thesis than Fibonacci or Elliott wave is completely, but obviously they overlap because they both study the same thing, right? They study stocks or Forex or crypto. So what that would look like, and I can show you a schematic for accumulation. Sorry, I'm gonna come back to chat. It's one of those things, Get to my downloads here. So here it is. So this is the accumulation schematic. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, yeah. This is the accumulation schematic, and you can see that this one essentially it has the same goal, but it does it in an opposite fashion. And we can just roughly take a look at it, right? If we just delete this for now, take this off the screen, you can see that what happened after the distribution that we were just looking at is boom. So this would be like sell climax, SC, right? AR, ST, this move up here, then ST phase B, let's move up, down here, move up. Really, this is probably your spring in phase C, and then this is your test, most likely, I'd say. And then you see SOS, and then the blast up. So, yeah, I mean, this is it's compelling stuff, man. I will say that it's pretty safe to say that there's certainly we're in one of these processes, and what I'm trying to figure out and what I'm concerned about now is what does this do to the timeline, right? Does this say, even though we've been saying, oh man, it's so similar from a time perspective and the way that the chart is playing out, right? Well, maybe it's not. Maybe this slows down our timeline, and instead what we see is a slow, a more methodical move down, and then a much more explosive, I would assume, move up. What the fuck? Is the stream over? What the fuck, man? I broke it. Sorry. What the fuck is going on, dude? Okay, I think I'm gonna use my phone for chat then. Or something. This is so weird. I'm sorry, guys, if you're still listening. I appreciate you guys sticking around. The fuck? Okay. I don't know what the fuck happened. All right, so are you guys here? What the fuck? All right, whatever. All right. Look at longer time frames. I think Wyckoff cycle is usually on a daily. Seems Wyckoff, I don't think that the time frame matters, man. I think it can happen on shorter or longer time frames. just like Elliott Wave can. Moving averages? I don't use moving averages too often. It's not part of my especially on AMC, it's not part of my thesis. Sometimes I use them if I'm generally trying to assess a longer term cycle, like a bear cycle turning into a bull cycle. I'll use like longer term moving averages. It's not part of my thing. Financial fitness. Yeah, Christopher, you don't talk to your coworkers on how much I just don't think that it adds value for me to disclose my positions or what, right? Like, I mean, as long as I'm providing good methodology, everything like that, like, it doesn't matter. My position could be one share of AMC, and my method would still be valid. So, and same thing goes to you guys. We all need to buy and get some volume back. I could be wrong, but that's why my chart shows it's been accurate the entire time. Yeah, well, financial fitness, I've been incredibly. I don't know if you're new to the channel or what. I'm not really familiar with your name, so if you aren't new, I'm sorry, but well, the channel's only a week old, and what the fuck, yeah, right? But yeah, I mean, I've been incredibly accurate on this thing, man. Like for the past couple months, if you've been following me on Twitter, I mean, I pretty much know language. I pretty much have called every day's price action the day before, and right now is the first time where I feel a little, a little confused, I guess, or maybe uncertain, you could say, about what's going to happen tomorrow. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate it. Flax, as far as why volume is so low, I mean, I do think that it's possible that there's order flow delay. Oh shit. Let me put the other schematic up. I'm gonna cuz obviously that one is what we're actually looking at right now. So, oh fuck. Sorry about that. Let me move this then. Oops. Flags, it could be order flow delay. Also, the patterns, if we get away from this Wyckoff stuff and we look at the pattern that I thought was playing out here, which I mean, I still am not saying that it's not. I'm just saying like that I am certainly challenging my idea, but a falling wedges typically do exhibit low volume and lowering volume as they get towards the end. And this is basically the bull thesis panning out, because as it moves down, wow, I'm looking at this and you could make a strong case that maybe I don't know, man, but maybe we do move down to this $32 level in this, and we really have that really panic kind of alarm sounding, everybody's freaking out, and then a big whale swoops in and just we go on a fucking rocket ship. No, I don't smoke weed, John. Well, I mean, I'm not like against it or anything. Like, I have, but I just don't like frequently or anything. Like, it's not like a normal thing that I do. Sometimes I drink, but lately I've been working out and dieting and stuff like that real heavy. So like the past like 3 or 4 months, and so like I haven't really been drinking either. Why does bottom line of your wedge start where it starts? Well, for a falling wedge, it doesn't really, there's no like, you can make this a wedge. Like that could be that could be your trend line. It could be here. You could make an argument that it could start back here. So like, and I think that's a good point to bring up, is that like a falling wedge and other patterns, what ends up happening is it's not so much about the line, it's about the general sentiment that's occurring, right? The general sentiment in a falling wedge is that we're seeing aggressive downside, but the narrative is shifting Every time that the bears try and press the price further down, the narrative is shifting further and further away from them and more in favor of the bulls, especially because aggressive price action to either direction is generally less easy to continue, right? It's less easy for bears to maintain really aggressive downward price action, just like it's tough for bulls to maintain really aggressive upward price action, right? Jaffer, down here in the bottom right, you just click log. If you're on mobile, there's like a little setting button. Let me look at my phone right quick so I can try and describe it to you. Yeah, there's like a little gear wheel in the bottom right underneath like the list of prices, and you click that, and then you can see like regular, percent, index to 100, and logarithmic are your options. Holy shit, man, 140 viewers. You guys are insane. What the hell? If you guys haven't already, drop a like on the stream. No problem, Jaffer. Coke and Hennessy. I'm a bourbon guy. I just drink straight bourbon. So I collect bourbon and stuff, and I just drink that every once in a while. Y'all are panicking for no reason. Y'all should watch Lou's videos because he's a straight shooter and he doesn't do any BS. I mean, I watch Lou's videos, and I don't think that I'm doing any BS here. I'm not panicking. I'm just pointing out potential downward price action. Lawrence, I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that this is necessarily my thesis, right? But I will say that, you know, it is an interesting thing, and especially if you look at it now, like you look at this wedge, right? You look at the wedge in the grand scheme of this price action here, and then you also have the assumption that this will go into an accumulation, which leads to upside. And also another thing to mention is that falling wedges, and that's why these right, this is why Wyckoff trading, as well as Elliott wave, as well as pattern day traders or swing traders, why they all work, because they all work, right? They all have different theology, but they all are forced to align at some point. So this would be what that markdown looks like, perhaps. And then you see more of an accumulation, sort of, right? And then an A, B, C, and then you would see, you know, and then you mark up again, right? Like that is basically what it would end up looking like. It probably wouldn't go backwards right here, though, right? Because I don't think the price can go left, but, you know, something like that. You get what I'm saying. So isn't that funny, right? Another example. My belief is that Bitcoin is currently in the SOS phase of a Wyckoff accumulation schematic, right? So you can see here, just roughly, this is your SC, probably. Just roughly putting some words here so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Spring. Maybe you got a test here, right? My conviction with this is that even though this looks like distribution, and it could be, right? I could be wrong. It could be just this playing out again, basically, but like smaller or something. But what I think is actually happening is this is a big old retail fake out, and it's actually an SOS. And so what that would entail is a markup to the beginning of this accumulation schematic, which I would say is at least $60,000. That's what I think, at least. Who's Cucumber Queen? I don't know who that is. I'm bad? E-Bomb? What do you mean I'm bad? It's all about supply and demand. The rerouting of retail orders is what's affecting the price. Gary G said it in his own words. I heard live. Yeah, I talked about rerouting a price. Terrible is fake. She's here for clout. Where's Terrible at? She's here? I like Tara. Thomas, I don't want to get into the definitions right now. I can pull up. Sorry. I can pull up a list of the definitions, I suppose. I was just trying to keep it like just so you could look at the chart rather than. Yeah, no, I don't want to pull up the definitions. I don't want to mess it. I don't want to like teach you like Wyckoff right now. I just want to like show you like the general thesis. Sorry, man. I'll probably make a video about it though. Corey, is AMC going up? I think it is. But it could go down first. It could go up or down. I'm just kidding. I fucking hate when people say that. No, so I think that it's possible that you see one more move down. Honestly. I really do. I think that you could see a washout here. This looks like a pretty good wedge. Washout here to the downside. 32. Maybe we do some accumulating and we just start moving up. I mean, this is pretty much what I said was going to happen. And now that, you know, if you think about it, if you watch my video from Friday, this is what I said would happen. You could see one more shot down and the golden pocket for BTC. Yeah, let's see. Golden pocket. Perhaps here. Yeah. So you've already tested all up in your golden pocket here. You could also say boom here. Oh, could see one more. I'd say you probably could see one more run down here to the golden pocket for Bitcoin. Or maybe not. Maybe it says fuck you, bitch, and it just starts going up off this. Like the SOS says it will, right? It starts to build higher and higher support. Let's see. See this trend? All right. Probably got to go to a lower time frame to see it a little bit clearer what's actually happening price action wise. I mean, yeah, you can make a pretty good argument that and then what's happening here. So you would say something like this. Right? If you're comparing it to the accumulation schematic here is the kind of thing that you'd be looking for, whatever. Like, you know, you get the idea. Dude, look, this is one thing that I do want to say. Lines being like exactly accurate and stuff is cool. Like, I get it, like why people are so like picky about that, but like it's not about that as much as it is what the lines represent and the emotions that they represent. Breaking a line doesn't change the emotion. You can feel that break happen, but a reversion will basically make that break useless, right? So you're more trying to understand the move that's happening. Travis? No, that's not him. That's not him. That's not that Travis, I don't think. The great. No, Travis. He's talking about somebody else from Twitter, man. That's fine, the great. I know that Lou has a really loyal following, and to be honest with you, I spent a good amount of time watching Lou's videos. I don't think anything's wrong with Lou. I do think that he's probably a little bit... he's like that guy at the party that like everybody, you know, talks to, and like no matter... Oh. Where's my cursor? Here? He's that guy that like... that you talk to, and like he's done everything that you've done already. You know what I'm saying? Like say you say that you went skiing. He's like, yeah, I went, you know, you're like, yeah, I went to Colorado to ski or whatever. He's like, yeah, dude, one time I skied down Mount Everest, and like I jumped off of a cliff, and like I did like a triple backflip, and a mountain lion tackled me out of the air, you know? So I do think that maybe he exaggerates a little bit, but I don't think that he's dishonest. I don't think that he's like a liar, like a lot of people do. I don't think that he is completely like bullshitting. I just think that maybe he, he might just be one of those people who exaggerates the truth a little bit. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. I think that Lou said that Trump was going to be reinstated. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a political guy, so um and regardless of like I mean it was like some QAnon shit, like whatever. That's the other thing, like he does have that sort of like conspiratorial side, but I think that it might just come with the territory of like because I kind of remember when he was talking about it, he almost made it seem like somebody was feeding him that information, and it's just, I don't know, man, like stuff like that is just kind of weird to me, like I'm just like, okay, like um I can't I can't monetize on YouTube. I appreciate that, Corey. If you're trying to donate, I can't monetize on YouTube yet because they had to send me a letter that has like a verification code that I have to type in, like a literal like physical letter that has like one of those 6-digit codes you would type in like to verify your fucking email address or something. They literally have to send me a letter before they can monetize me. They told me it's going to take 3 or 4 weeks. But Corey, if you do want to donate, I do have tips enabled on my Twitter, so you can go to twitter.com. Here, I'll drop it. Oh, here come the shill comments. Oh, he's trying to monetize the apes. But on my Twitter, you can see a little tip button, and it can forward you to Venmo or Cash App or my Bitcoin address, however you want to donate, if anybody does want to donate. I appreciate it, though. Yeah, I got a new mic. $800 later. The mic was $400, and the equipment that goes with it, like all together, was like another $400, like between the cables and the mixer and the cloud lifter. It's bullshit. I'm like, bro, why can't you just build that shit into the mic? You know what I'm saying? Like, make the mic $500-$600 and have all that shit in it. Thanks, Corey. Yeah, man, look, like tips are totally voluntary, dude. Like, you don't have to give me, like, right? I'm just trying to provide value, and if people want to voluntarily tip, I think that that's fine. I do that all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like fucking when people have donation links and shit, I'm not sitting there like going, what the fuck, this greedy fucker. Like he probably, no, dude. It takes time. Even if I'm the best, even if somebody is the best trader in the world, best fucking technical analyst in the world, and they make fucking billions and millions of dollars, they're out there putting out their information. They're trying to help people. They deserve, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just disagree with that altogether. Somebody's cashing up and it's not your mother. Yeah, and whatever. Like I said, like you don't have to donate. Like I'm not gonna sit here. You guys remember that girl from that girl from Twitch that was like she like was like, what the fuck? I have 1,000 viewers every day and none of you fucking donate. You're a bunch of broke bitches. Yeah, that's not gonna be me. Yo, chill to be degrade. I appreciate you fucking with me and shit, but you don't have to talk about other people, man. I just want to talk, like keep it here. Let's talk about the plays. Let's talk about, you know what I'm saying? I don't need the drama and all that shit. I agree. Is that Christoph? Christoph? Is that how you say your name? Ballars? Christoph Ballars? That's pretty sick. That's a cool name, dude. Or I don't know if you're a dude or not. That was a gender non-binary dude, by the way. Sorry. I fucking love the way that your name is spelled, Christoph. Do I think the hedge funds will ever cover their short positions? Hold on, man. Who's Tulsi? I've seen you a few times, Tulsi, saying you're waiting or something. Tulsi, what's your question? I'm sorry, I have like a bunch of chats. I'm sorry that you keep saying you're waiting for something. I'm waiting for you. I don't know. I'm trying to. I just have a lot or not. AMC good news or not? All right, we can talk about AMC in a minute. I'm just trying to chat right now. Sorry. So just to close out on the AMC thing here, and I know that I'll probably get new chatters and stuff like that. Basically, I it, and this is why I try not to use Wyckoff too much. But when the patterns look so Wyckoff-y, it does kind of get to me a little bit. But what I'll say is, I think that what you're looking at here is I think either way, we're seeing some downside to open up. Okay? This is what I think. To open up, I think either way, you're seeing some sort of aggressive move to the downside. Okay? And that could be to the 34.50-ish level, all the way down to like 32 if they really wanted to go crazy with this shit. Okay? After that, I'm expecting a break back up here. And then maybe you see some prolonged accumulation like this and then a move up, or similar to the move that you saw here, it's not as long and it actually kind of reverses to the upside and does it pretty aggressively. I think that, and I hate to be like, oh, it could be this or it could be that, but like that's just, it's the reality, you know. I mean, I just can't predict the future. If I could, I wouldn't, no offense, but if I could predict the future, I probably wouldn't be streaming on YouTube right this moment. I would be like, I would probably like own like many acres of land because of my incredible wealth. I probably would, what would I do if I could predict the future? I don't even know what I would do if I could predict the future. Oh, shit. But, you know. But I can give, you know, my take, and my take has been relatively accurate lately, if you've been following along, so I appreciate you guys wanting to know it. But it does put me in a weird position whenever something like this happens and something kind of changes the way that I'm viewing something, because then people start going, well, why don't you know everything? You know, and it's just like, okay, well, first of all, that's why I trade the way I do, right? Because if you go long term, and you have a good play, it's much easier to just say, oh, okay, I was wrong. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything. Still the same. Still gonna hold on. Still gonna wait, right? That's kind of my general strategy, I guess. I mean, you could say, right? You got falling wedges occurring there. This is so much more dramatic, man. I'm telling you, when this thing does pop, like I think it's gonna be big. Lawrence, whatever people choose to do with their position is their business, not mine. I do not give advice on when to enter or exit positions. I can talk of what traders will do theoretically, but I'm not going to say like what you should or shouldn't do with your trade. That's your trade, man. I hope you appreciate that. Corey, if your plan is to have all of that go into AMC, you know, and it depends on everybody's personal situation and how much that represents of your portfolio and stuff like that. But if your plan is to invest that into AMC, my personal theology is, if I have a lump sum, rather than trying to time the bottom or time the top of anything, I prefer to average in to my position. So I would just, like, no matter what the price is or whatever, for a few days a week, every week for a month or something or two, I would just slowly buy in. That way you get like a cost basis, right? Rather than just like trying to time the bottom, because that's pretty hard to do. And time the top, it's pretty hard to do. I mean, you can do it. I've shown some ways on my YouTube channel so far of ways that you can try and get an idea of that, but this thing is under control. Like Lou says, I know that they said you guys had some Lou there were some Lou fans in here, right? Lou says this is a planned event. I will say that to a certain degree, it is becoming more and more difficult for me to think that it's not planned. You know? No one. I don't. I'm gonna go use the bathroom, guys. I'll be back. Say you guys have a nice conversation while I'm gone, okay? BRB. That's a good question, Lawrence. I might answer it when I get back. If I remember to. Yeah, the great. I do sit down at the toilet when I pee. Idaho, Washington real estate. I am a Saints fan, but more importantly, a fantasy football fan that is got a trash team right now. All right. I got to take care of my kids, and I'm going to watch some football. So, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll probably make a video at some point where I can like step away from this, really think about what I think, and really get into what my conviction is going into next week. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Spend some time with your family.